Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to talk about instance type. Now, in the instance type, we have the free eligible instance, which is 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and it comes with like, I guess, 15 GB of hard disk drive. So, would it be enough for you to run WebLogic? If you would ask me for Tomcat, maybe. But for WebLogic, I don't think so. So you cannot go with such low memory and low CPU. So you have to go for something like a M4 or a general purpose, which has like 8 GB of RAM or 4 GB of RAM. So I'm gonna go with T3 medium. And T3 meaning it's a general purpose, multi-purpose instance family, and it's a third iteration or third generation of your the virtual machine, and you have the medium, as in the size is medium. Right now you have 2 CPUs and 4 GB of RAM, so I guess that's a good one. And if you have chosen an AMI, it's gonna be like coming with a pre-installed software, so additional cost applies for that. So that's what it's just warning you about. That's all right. You're not going to go with AMI. We have chosen Red Hat Linux in this scenario. And then here is the KeyPair. Now, KeyPair is so important. So I have two KeyPairs already, which is surprisingly not getting displayed over here. So we're gonna create a new KeyPair over here. Now click on create a new KeyPair, and this is gonna end up creating a new KeyPair over here. So now I'm gonna call this as WebLogic KeyPair. So I'm gonna use this for all my WebLogic servers, and it is using RSA encryption. Now, when you're choosing the private file format, there are two things you need to consider. One is that you cannot re-download this file. Once you have downloaded this file, that's it. There is no option that you can re-download this file. So this is a security thing. So there is no option of going back on time and checking this out and re-downloading the private key. So once you download the private key, you need to hold it safe somewhere in a key store or something where you cannot delete. And second thing is, like, you need to hold it very securely, because there is no way of accessing this virtual server which you're creating without this file, and your virtual server will not have any password assigned to it. So the only way of accessing them using the ppk file or pem file. Now, if you're using MobiXterm or PuTTY, any kind of a client to connect with the server, then you have to download ppk file. Now, if you're using OpenSSH, then you can use PEM file. So now, as of now, we're using MobiXterm, which uses PuTTY in turn. So we're going to download or go with this particular ppk file. Now click on create KeyPair, and that should have got downloaded. So in this region of Mumbai, I don't have any KeyPair here. So I'm going to go with WebLogic as a KeyPair. Now, though I don't stay in India, but still, I'm going to give it for you guys just to, give it as an example. So my region would be where I have other keys is not Virginia. So that's where all my other keys exist, but that's totally fine if you have created on a different region. Now this one is WebLogic RSA one. It's downloaded to my download. So when I'm connecting from my MobiXterm, I'll be using that key to connect to the server. Now here on the network settings over here, so I'm going to use a default one. Not much explanation to do from my side, because the VPC requires a complete new training class to understand what's VPC, and then the subnets, and then autos and IP address. All these are going to be as default as it is. Now there is something called elastic IP address, which will let you have the constant public IP address, which doesn't change. And there is this there are going to be two IP addresses assigned to it. So I'll come to that when we have this created, not as of now. May confuse you further down the line. So here is a firewall group. Here I'm selecting the create a new security group. So don't worry about it, just leave it as it is. Now, Just enable these two options. What it's going to do is like as of the security group, it's a firewall setting. Now you need to connect SSH, right? So there are multiple options over here. You can connect SSH. You can disable this also. What happens if you disable this is that you will not be able to connect using MobaXTM to the server using public IP address because you're not allowing any traffic. So by default, it is disabled. So when you enable it and when you say like anywhere, now from anywhere around the world, I can use my MobaXTM or PuTTY to connect to the server using SSH because your public IP, which is on this particular virtual server, will be listening for any connection from anywhere around the world. But what is that I need to give? I need to give the IP address or public IP address. That's one thing. And second thing I need to give is the PPK file, which I downloaded. So now what this is going to do is like it's going to allow both HTTP and HTTPS traffic from the internet. So which means that I can access the websites which is hosted on my WebLogic. On this configuration of storage, I have the option of configuring the amount of storage. So here it is given 30 GB of my ESB general purpose SSD or magnetic storage, which is a free allowance for me. So which means that not 15 GB, which I told you earlier, it's 30 GB, which is free for you. So you can use this 30 GB all in one particular disk, or you can create multiple disks like 15 GB one disk, and you can create another disk at a new volume, and then you can mount another 15 GB on that. Okay, so that's something which you can do. So that's pretty much as an option you can do. Okay, so now it's completely up to you how you want to do this. So now that we have completed the basic configuration which is required for our WebLogic installation, so I'm going to go with the 20 GB over here. So now I'm just going over and checking if this is all perfect, and I want it to be, yeah, perfect, looks good. So click on launch instance. Now you can see on this right side you have number of instances, just one, and we're gonna go with Red Hat as an operating system. You're gonna go with T3 medium server, and then here you have the new security group, and then you have the volume selected, and then click on launch. And now over here it is just taking a bit of time and getting it created. Now go back to instances, and you should see that instance appearing very soon over here. Just go back to EC2 and then go to instances again. I can see that you have one instance configured, which is WLS1, and that's currently running. So now in the next video, we will see what is a public and what is private IP address, what's the use of them, and how to connect to this virtual machine on the next video.